Hi, I'm Eileen Roche, founder of Designs and Machine Embroidery, and welcome to this episode of Between Friends. I'm really glad that you joined me during this busy time. Today, we're going to talk about placing embroidery designs, really quilting designs on quilts. And that's for custom quilting. That's not really edge to edge. This is when you want to accent specific shapes because pretty much all quilts are made up of specific shapes, diamonds and squares, circles, hexagon, and circles. So before we get started, I kind of been wondering, what's going on with you? What is happening in your world? Retha Ranke has been stitching freestanding lace angels, 50 of them so far. That's amazing, just amazing. So how about some of you? Tell us what you are stitching. Oh, Retha, you like my Santa hat? Yeah, and hey, Carol Lombard, nice to have you here. And aloha, Judy Warren and Isabel Rian from France. Lovely to have all of you here today. So I hope that if you have any friends that, love machine embroidery, invite them to come on over. And we're going to talk about getting those quilt designs landed exactly where you want it, And Kathy Stossner, you're making freestanding lace red trucks. Well, that's a lot of fun. That must be awesome. And Marianne Dottie, you're working on Christmas cards, Mylar Christmas cards. That's great. Great. I love that. Grinch candy bags, Christmas table runner Christmas gifts. Oh, hi, Teresa Stagliano. Nice to have you here from Jersey, another Jersey girl. And how many of you have snow? I know there is a snowstorm about to happen, I think this weekend. So let me know if you are in a white area. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and this week we have had some very cold mornings, like 38, right? So we're shivering at that. And by lunch, of course, it's about 55. Today, we're going to have a high of 80. You just can't plan here in Texas for weather, for sure. And you don't really have a winter wardrobe and a summer wardrobe. You have to leave them out all year round because you're never going to know what you're going to need. So right now, many of you're talking about stitching freestanding lace and table runners and so forth. And I imagine much of that is in red, green, gold, maybe silver, some pink, who knows? But our world is about to get purple. And let me show you why. In 2022, Pantone, who is the color forecaster, the color solutions company of the universe, selects a color of the year. And this year, it is a beautiful new color that they have named Very Perry. And believe it or not, luckily or not, Exquisite by Dime Thread has a thread color that matches it wonderfully. In fact, we have an offering of 3 different colors that are going to go so well with Very Perry. So if you don't know about Pantone, Pantone is the color solution company who does color forecasting and also sets color standards for many industries so that everything, all the reds are the reds that they're supposed to be. And they're also very helpful in the printing world because, you want Target's red to be Target's red, which is different than Coca-Cola's red. And it's Pantone who helps control all of that. It's also kind of Pantone who tells us, that we're going to live in a gray world. Right now, we're emerging from this gray world where automobile interiors and paint and carpeting and lots of clothing was gray for a long time. Now it's going to get kind of purple. And isn't that fun? Sharon Jones, you love the new color prediction. I do too. I just think it's really a lot of fun to look at. Every year, of course, it's a different one. And, this year it's going to be purple. So let's go ahead and take a look overhead and see what our exquisite threads will look like. So we have 3 that we have picked. The violet blue 381 is really the one that matches the closely to the Very Perry. And the orchid bouquet, which is 1313, that's right here. Beautiful accent. And then 386 is purple aster. Now, what we've learned from Pantone is that their new color has these tones in it. It has some purple, some blue, and some orchid. So that's what makes it up. Isn't that fun? So much fun. Joanne Ellen Houston Roberson, thanks for joining us. Your first time here. We love having first timers. And of course, we love all of our embroidery friends. Absolutely. Wouldn't be here without you all, as they say here. Well, today we're going to talk about placing those embroidery designs. And I'm going to use my Center It kit. The Center It kit has 5 different shapes: 45-degree diamond, 60-degree, square, hexagon, and circles. And so these templates are 12 inches, and you actually get 3 of each shape in the package. Now, the package itself is a handy storage envelope that you can, use over and over again to store all your templates. They are translucent, flexible, so that you can use them in the hoop and like over a hoop, those hills and valleys of the outer edge of the hoop. And they're also, the reason why you get 3 is because I think you're probably going to want to customize them. You're not going to want to keep all of them 12 inches. Many of us don't have hoops that are that big. So, and we, many of us use a particular quilt block size, like maybe an 8-inch is your common size. So you can easily cut this down with scissors, a rotary cutter, and we'll take a look at some of that as we go on. So let me go ahead and move this and also talk about the stickers that come with it. 2 different target stickers. So we have the yellow. Well, these are our standard target stickers that you've seen us use for years and years, right? Crosshair with 1 arrowhead that designates the top of the embroidery design. And they're repositionable. You can use them over and over again till eventually they pick up too much fuzz, and then you retire that one. Now, these blue squares, a little different, right? They're square, they're blue. They, again, have just that arrowhead on one leg of the crosshair. And again, that designates the orientation of the embroidery design. And it's a rather large sticker, and it was designed specifically to cover the hole that is in each template. So let's begin by focusing on the yellow target stickers, okay? So here we have a 45-degree diamond, a lone star, points, it's got an 8-pointed star, and I can position my template right over this point. Now, I don't have a big hoop, so I'm going to embroider each of these legs of the star or the arms of the star individually. So I can, kind of eyeball it and decide where that is. It's a 9-inch diamond. So I can see that it works just beautifully in that fashion, aligning the center vertical line with the point and the horizontal with the outside edge. But, that's pretty cumbersome, right? The big one. So I could cut that down. And I've already started that here. So I'll show you how easy it is to cut these down. You just trim them down. And I always keep one of the 3 shapes in full size. So I will reserve this one and I'll never cut this one. I'll just keep this one as a 9-inch. And now I can see that that is going to match up so easily. It's just perfect to align on that arm of the star, the leg of the star, whatever term you prefer, and I'll insert that target sticker. And then I can repeat that for each of those legs. And, then you're going to have your 8 target stickers. And then when you go to the machine, you can, even in a 5x7 hoop, you could probably bring up this one design and fill that arm with your pretty embroidery. Rotate the design, rehoop, whatever hoop you're working on, you'll know how to advance to the next design. So that's the 45-degree star, a diamond, we should say. And now we have a circle. And it's pretty hard to find the center of a circle with a ruler easily. So this circle template does the job for you. And I have trimmed this down from its original 12-inch size And I'm just going to align that outside ring, that inner ring, with the outside edge of the applique. Again, I can place a target sticker on there, and probably doesn't matter on the orientation, because if it's a circle design, it won't really have an up or down, right? So, and I would position that on all three. And then when I go to the machine, I don't have to have a template or a crosshair with me. I'll know exactly how to do it. Now, if you have a baby lock or brother machine, you can also use your positioning sticker. The opening is large enough to accommodate that sticker, and you'll just press it in position. And then when you go to the machine, you can use the features on your embroidery machine to recognize that positioning sticker, and it will reposition the design in the hoop. If you're like me and you're just going to use the manual method of hooping and then using the jog features on the machine to center the needle over the target sticker, that works just beautifully also. Okay, so that's circles. Now let's take a look at the 45-degree diamond. And, that's going to work the same way as our other one, as our 45-degree. But, it makes finding the centers just so easy. That's why we called it the center it kit. It's super easy. And then what if you're in an area like this that's really, it doesn't have a lot of definition? Well, it's also very helpful for defining an area. Not only finding the center, but also defining the area. So this is a good example of the 60-degree. Okay, now let's see what happens when we pull this up. We have some other shapes under here. So right off the bat, I have this one on the top, and this is a quilt block square, but it has somewhat of a center opening. Now you'll notice I have that blue sticker on top. And that sticker is going to stick to the quilt block. And I'm going to show you that on another sample in a moment when we get to the hexagon. Sometimes you're working on a quilt where I don't necessarily want to put a little design in each little element, right? I want to do this quickly. So I can use the big template to find a large design area that I can then fill with a big design. We don't necessarily have to focus on an individual design in each patch, right? So the square is perfect for that. And again, you get 3 of these and you can cut them down accordingly. Yeah, really fun. Okay. And then what is next? Oh, the last one I want to show you is the hexagon. Oh, I've made such a mess over here. Wait do you see? Okay, this little hexy table runner is so sweet, isn't it? I just love that. It's really, really sweet. So here I have my hexagons appliqued. I could lie and tell you it's, hand-turned applique, but it's not. They're just fused down super fast. And here's my hexagon that I have already cut. And you get 3 of these that are 12 inches, and I've cut one down because I know I'm probably going to use this size pretty often. And then I just line up the edge of the hexagon with the outline of the hexagon on the template. And now this will stick to the fabric. It's not going to move. So you see, as I move this around and I hoop, I would place it in a hoop and move it to the machine. And you're going to see that in a moment. It's going to stay in place. And I do this actually right under the needle. I don't always do it, out here on the design table. Because as I move, let's say my 4x4 hoop, and I'm going to advance over here, I'm not going to take that whole thing off the machine. I'm just going to position right under the needle. So let's go ahead and watch what happens at the machine when we do this. When I'm at the machine and I want to land an embroidery design right under the needle, that's what I call placement under the needle. I can use this template with that adhesive sticker in place, and I just line up my hexagon, that's printed on the template with the outer dimensions of the fabric, finger press that in place, and now when I move that design and the hoop is moving, that template's not going to go anywhere. You know how that wants to jog around if you don't have it taped down, correct? And, for precision placement, I like to lower my needle make sure I can get over there nice and tight. And this takes a moment, but not too bad. And then I am ready to stitch. I can just lift the template and remove it. If I want to verify that I am square in the hoop, I could use my trace feature and go north, making sure that that line is centered in the foot, and it is. So I know that I'm happy with that placement. Raise the presser foot, remove that template, set it aside, and stitch that design, and then do the repeat for each hexagon on the quilt block. These are two different methods for placement. Our yellow target sticker, you're going to move the needle, or actually you're moving the hoop, so it's centered over that target sticker. You would rotate the design appropriately. On the positioning sticker, use the positioning feature in the Baby Lock machine, and the machine will find this sticker and it will rotate your design so that it completely fills this diamond. Both methods work depending on what machine you have. So you can just see how easy it is to use at the machine. It really makes placement of quilting designs fast and easy. Now let's see, Connie Hutchinson wants to know, are they available on the Dime site? They sure are, and we have a special coming up. But I also wanted to, and you can see it right there in the chat, the link. I also wanted to tell you that, you know, I've had somebody ask me recently, can you use it with your AccuQuilt Go templates, right? Many people use these to cut their shapes. Well, you sure can. Your squares, diamonds, if you have the right die from AccuQuilt, you can use this for placement for sure. Yep. Now, you know, our templates, the Center It Quilt templates, are for placement. Can you use them to cut fabric? You could, but you know, it's very flexible. It's very flexible. So you're not going to get any strong, rigid lines like you do on a quilting ruler, like an acrylic quilting ruler that will allow you to run that blade right along the edge. So if you are proficient with a rotary cutter, then maybe you would do that. But frankly, I just use scissors, you know, and to cut my patches, I use either a digital scanner, a digital cutter, or I use the AccuQuilt Go templates, a die cutter, because, you know, they're awesome. They really are awesome. And I know many of you want to know if we have some small town charms to share, and we do have some small town charms. But I also wanted to find out, so many of you are working on Christmas presents and so forth, but, you know, isn't this also the time of year where we make mistakes, right? Oh my, I know I do. In fact, today was the 3 H's. What was it, Sam? It was my hat, right? I grabbed the stocking, you know, Santa hat to wear, and without looking, I grabbed a child size. So I had to open it up in the back so I could fit it on my head. That was the first one. The second one was the hoop mat. Sam, I can't remember what the third one was. So yeah, never move your hoop mat from its original place, because if you put it where your cutting mat is, this is what happens. I just did that. But hey, right after I did it, the warehouse just notified me that we had 1,000 just arrive in the warehouse. So, you know, if you need a new hoop mat, we have them. We have them. Thank goodness, right? Oh my. Let's see. There's just so much that you could do. Retha Ranke, you are 68 years young tomorrow. Happy birthday to you. Happy, happy birthday. I hope that next year is a very good year, full of joy and good health for you and your family. And Judy Quilt, you have done that twice to your hoop mat? Yeah, well, I've done it at least twice too. Truth be told, truth be told. Yeah. Oh, everybody's wishing Retha Ranke a happy birthday. Isn't that nice? She's up in Wyoming, she's mentioned earlier, and they don't have any snow yet. What a bummer. What a bummer. Oh, what is a hoop mat? Oh, well, Sharon, hoop mat is a silicone mat with a grid, with a bold center line, horizontal and vertical, that you place on a clear surface, clear flat surface in your sewing room, and you hoop on top of it, and it keeps the hoop rigid. So if you give me just a second, I'll clear my space and I'll show you how you use it. So as you can see, here I have my cutting mat because I moved it. I don't know why I did. I guess I was cutting some templates. But normally, this is what I call my hooping throne, and this is where I always hoop. So once you have this down in place, and look, it's even going to work with my hole, right? It'll still work. And then I'm going to get a standard hoop and a standard hoop. You just bear with me 1 minute, and you'll see just how rigid this is. Okay. So the beauty of it is nothing moves. So when I put my hoop on there, my standard hoop, like it just stays in place. So let's unhoop this, whatever this mess is. Clearly, I didn't do this. Wow. There's some man working in my studio. Okay. I never turn the screw that hard, but you know, when you have your fabric in place, I mean, you have your outer ring down in place and you want to hoop a piece of fabric, of course, you would have stabilizer. And often, you know, you're worried that it's going to all flop around and move, right? Your bottom hoop. Well, here we go. I can just open up that screw so I can get that inner ring in there. And you'll notice nothing moves as I use that hoop mat. It even works on monster hoops. And of course, that centering mark is really handy when you can use to align the center of either your standard hoop or your monster hoop. And again, that's not going to move. And I know many people, you know, they kind of struggle maybe a little bit with the monster hoop, thinking that the bottom is going to move. Well, holding it on that silicone mat makes it nice and sturdy and simple. It doesn't move. So yeah, let's see. It's Carol Lombard. She says the hoop mat is the greatest assistant when hooping most sizes of hoops. Absolutely. I mean, I use it for all the way up to that 10 by 16 Baby Lock Brother hoop is just fabulous. And let's see, Dora. Yeah, you say you use pencil grips on your hoop screws. Good idea, because it's much more comfortable and they're pretty as well. But truth be told, I don't use standard embroidery hoops very often. So I know that I didn't hoop that hoop, whatever that water-soluble stabilizer, someone must have made a patch. And that's why I do my best embroidery at home, not in the office, right? You sell those, and we sure do. We sell the hoop mat. They're only $19.99. on our website, and you just go over to dzgns.com and you can find them there. And they come in the blue and it has that grid on it. And boy, you will love it. They roll up. I know many of our embroiderers who go to class and so forth, they actually buy two. They have one at home and one that they put in your in their suitcase or, you know, their traveling case that they take to classes. And Stephanie H., you just noticed our ornaments. How fun are they? Well, I have to tell you, last week I put this up, but I was inspired by Reen Wilcoxon at Embroidery Garden because she decorated her tree with exquisite spools of thread. And, you know, Exquisite by Dime is our brand of tri-global polyester 40 weight thread. And it is a dependable, beautiful, low-cost thread. It's not an expense. You're not going to spend a fortune for our beautiful color range of 288 colors, and it performs beautifully. It does not shred on the machine. You know, oftentimes we think something's wrong with our machine, but it could be the thread brand that you are using. So, let's see. Connie Hudgens, you said that you have a Foft, which has a huge hoop. It sure does, and it often slides, and that's why you don't use that one. So you do need that mat. The mat's awesome, just awesome. It is so worth every penny. And Darla, your machine only loves Exquisite. I agree. Mine only love Exquisite too. That's all I use. In fact, I've given away all that thread that didn't really work that well. And now I just use those 288 beautiful colors of Exquisite 40 weight thread. And I just love that thread. So dependable, very affordable. And that's important, right? Because, you know, we're going to go through a lot of thread Retha Ranke, I would love to know how many spools of red you have gone through doing 50, well, maybe they weren't red, well, whatever color you're using for your freestanding lace, because, you know, lace takes a lot, and we often are putting it in the bobbin too. Absolutely. Welcome, April from Australia. Nice to have you here. Let's see, do we sell piecing thread? No, we don't sell piecing thread, but you know, I'll confess, I use this for piecing because am I too lazy to change the thread? That's not really the reason, but I can tell you that it's a polyester thread. It's very, very strong. It's 40 weight. It's the same weight as a sewing thread, so there's no harm in using this for piecing. And boy, if you need to match color, you have 288 colors to select from. And Deborah Clark, let's see, you have an expensive hooping station, but you use the blue mat. Yeah, so I think many of us have experimented with other expensive products that often take up a lot of room in our sewing room. And really, it's a simple solution. That silicone mat, it's, you know, $20, has the grid. Just love it. Just love it. And Darla, so you use the Exquisite thread for piecing and quilting. Oh, I love to hear that. That's great. And what is a hoop socket? I have no idea what a hoop socket is, Lisa. Does anybody else know what that is? I don't know. It could be, there's a little device that I've heard of that holds open a sock. Maybe that's it. And if it isn't, then I have no idea. Oh, Retha Ranke, you gave your other brands of thread to your son. Well, I'm sure you've loved him enough through his life that you could do this kind of one thing, right? And if it's free, well, that's a good price too for somebody who's starting out, right? And let's see, Connie, your FOP only likes a specific brand that begins with a vowel, and that also begins with a vowel, and you never tried Exquisite. Well, you just might want to do that. I think you'll get the same results, and you'll be quite happy with it. Let's see. Then Linda, we do have, it's a creative, the embroidery attachment goes to the FOF Creative 7560. Linda, you'd have to check our compatibility chart over at dzgns.com. And Kate, you've gone through 17 spools of thread for your freestanding lace ornaments so far and still going. Good for you. Wow, that's a lot of thread. That is a lot of thread. That's great. That is really great. Okay, so let's see. So we have that compatibility chart is right there in the comments. So if you need to jump over and find that, you can use that link to do that. And oh, Liza, you have it rolled up. Don't roll it up. Okay, so here's what I do in my sewing room at home, right? I have what I call my hooping throne, and that's a flat surface that is about 24 inches wide by 24 inches deep. And then I have my perfect alignment laser that is attached to that table and beams down a red crosshair onto my hoop mat. And that surface in my sewing room is always clean. It's what I call my hooping throne, and I don't put anything on it. No thread, no scissors, nothing. It's just always ready to receive a hoop. And of course, my blue mat, my hoop mat, is sitting on that surface. So I encourage you to not roll up that hoop mat. Leave it out and you'll embroider more because you're all set up to use it. And that's what's important, right? That's what's important. Okay. And Annette Yeager, she has made, Annette Yeager is an employee here at Dime, and she makes all of my beautiful earrings. Truth be told, I have to tell you that. We did chat about that in an earlier program, but she does beautiful embroidery, and she's been working on a lace topper from our friends at Embroidery Library, which is just beautiful. Maybe next week I'll get a photo to share with you. And she's already gone through 2 spools of white thread. And, you know, she struggled a little bit with that project. And so she came to me a little sad, you know how we all are, right, when our projects don't come out. And she was using 1 layer of sew and wash stabilizer instead of 2. And I said, make sure you go and use 2 layers. And she went home that night, and phew, now she's doing great. Cooking with gas, as they say, right? Okay, let's say, please show hoop mat. Lori Berman, okay, we can go back over there. I'll show you hoop mat again. We just did that, but it's all right. So hoop mat is this silicone mat, and see, it does roll up. Like our friend said, she keeps it rolled up. It doesn't come with the hole. That was a problem that I just talked about earlier. So yours will come solid. But, you know, I could tape that back together. Frankly, I'll probably just cut it up and use smaller pieces. But it stays on your work surface. And when you place your standard hoop on it, the hoop doesn't move. It just stays in one position. And then as you place your fabric over top and go to insert your standard ring right on top, you know, it's not going to move around. Everything stays in position, which is the goal, right? Because, you know, what it wants to do is slide all over. So I can pop that out. But, you know, I didn't take the time to show you that I can use these marks on the hoop to align with the marks on the mat. And then if I am concerned about centering this in the hoop, then I would align, you know, some kind of mark that's on the fabric with the mat. And then when I insert that inner ring, you know, and I always insert one end, I hold it down with one thumb, and then like with my palms or my other thumb, then I work that inner ring into the outer ring. That's how I do it on a standard hoop. On a snap hoop monster, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to place that hoop. I've marked the centers of that metal bottom. And I'm going to take my fabric and position it. Well, that won't work, right? And I'm going to take my frame, and I'm aligning it with the edge of that metal bottom. And then I'm just going to drop it. And nothing moves. And of course, that's the beauty of those snap hoop monsters, right? I can make fine-tune adjustments of that top. I can even pull on my fabric, make sure it's taut, and I don't have to worry about any fiber distortion because it's a nice flat hoop, right? Flat top, flat bottom. And then I go to the machine and I'm ready to stitch. Isn't that awesome? Okay. So is there a code? There isn't a code today. Actually, the hoop mat isn't on sale. What's on sale today is the Center It kit. And that's what our special is about. We started the program today talking all about placement for quilting designs on quilt blocks and so forth. So it's really great. And let's see, let's go. So our friend Joanne Banco, she says it really is a game changer and she loves those dark crosshairs. It is really makes it. Thanks for your nice comment for sure. And Connie, you like the snap hoop monsters. I know. So, you know, we have many snap hoop monsters in stock. We really ramped up inventory for the holiday season because last year was such a challenge for everybody due to COVID, and that was the beginning of the global supply chain disruption. So back in June, we started to order heavy for this season, and we have almost every hoop type in stock. So if you've been waiting, this would be the time for sure. And Liza, you love your laser light with the hoop mat and your, I know, it's such a great combo. The laser light, the hoop mat, and the monster hoop. It makes hooping enjoyable, which is something that it hasn't been for many, many years for sure. So anyway, so today's special is free shipping and $39.99. Make sure you use that promo code of Center It Kit. And next week, we are going to have a guest. And that's going to be Joanne Banco. But before we show that, let's take a look at those small town charms because I have a couple adorable ones to show you. If you're new to us, and some of you are, you said this is your first time here, we've had a program all through 2021 called Small Town Charm. And it is a free design that I give to you every month. And the first month was the quilt shop, followed by the bake shop, the dress shop, the flower shop, the outdoor cafe, the town hall, Scoops, home of the giant cone, and the outdoor gazebo. If you're wondering if there's a theme here, it's small town charm. Things, buildings, businesses that you find in a small town. And then in July, oh, not in July, in August, maybe it was September. September, we had the Book Nook, followed by the Haunted House in October, and November was the Pet Store. This month was the Avon Tree Farm. And it's kind of plain, as you can see. Some of the others were plain. So if you're new, what you may not be aware of is that the whole idea of these free designs, and they come in two sizes, 5x7 and 7x12, all available on our website. And you can still download them. They are going to be there till the end of January 2022, but then they will be gone. So take the moment to download them now. So my idea was that I would provide a basic design for you, and you would embellish it as you see fit and make it your own. And boy, what fun we have had with that. So here is a couple of small town charms that we found. Here's Jackie Burke, and she renamed it the Happy Tree Farm. She added a gnome into the foreground there, and there's a prancing deer, or maybe it's an antelope, between the trees. Isn't that great? Look at her quilted sky. Now, that's something that she's added on her own. She probably also has some quilting in the snow area, and then she added another tree. Just gorgeous, just beautiful. Okay, and now here we have Susan Leidy. She has, she's really adorned it. So she, of course, renamed it. She did the Fraser Tree Farm. She's got a puppy dog, which looks like a button in the window of the Woody station wagon. She opted not to do the Woody. She just kept the solid fabric. And she's got a garland of Christmas lights along the fence. She added 2 tall poles at the outside edges of the fence. Very well done. She put Christmas lights on the Christmas tree and those little footprints, right? She told us in her notes that what she did was she found baby footprints and removed the toes in software, so that she would have what looks like a boot print, right? Of course, they had to be small, so that's why she went with the baby. Isn't that great? And beautiful trees that she added in the background. Very well done, Susan. Just lovely. Great fabric selections, all of it. Marianne McCain-Dottie, oh, this is fun. She added an applique snowman front and center, renamed it to Frosty's Tree Farm, which was brilliant, and like, duh, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? And then she also added some applique Christmas presents in the front, but they're really not applique. They're just felt stick-ons, she said, is what she put in her notes, which is great. Fast, easy, done. Love that. Super, super cute. Yeah, super, super cute. Okay. Next week, we're going to have Joanne Banco here, and we're excited to have her join us again. You know, she did a Just Jackets collection with us this year, so she's got some great tips on embroidering these jackets, and I think we'll all learn from her. And, you know, a jacket is a great kind of a last-minute thing that you can do for yourself for the holiday if you need something special to wear to a holiday outing. One of her Just Jacket embroidery design mini collections would be wonderful for sure. So it's so great to have you all here, and I really appreciate your time that you've shared with me today, because I know it's a very busy time of year. And next week will be fun with Joanne Banco. We have some great things in store, and then we're going to take a little break for the holiday. We're going to let you enjoy your families, and we'll be back in January. But until next week, I hope you have a very safe and productive time as you prepare for the holidays. Thank you for joining me.